So I thought it was a 57 Studebaker M sitting on a 2002 Dakota. Turns out it's actually a 2000 Dakota RT, but it's still the 360 Magnum. That's the important part. And the owner just watched the video, the first one, and he says it's a 52, not a 57. And the half ton is an R series, either 6 or 11, I believe. Anything M series is 48 and older, so it's not an M at all. But he says most Studebaker guys don't YouTube, so none of you guys have corrected me on it yet that no, it's not an M, and it's not a 57, it's a 52. I don't know what the differences are, but I did get it running, so that means something. So yeah, here we go. So what we're trying to do here, this is the steering column out of our 2000 Dakota. Went to the records and grabbed another one that has the tilt steering, just because the steering wheel's so close, but it's still too close for comfort. So we don't need this shifter anymore from the automatic. We're gonna do a floor shift on it. And so we're gonna try and get rid of this space right in here. So I'm gonna cut this weld out here, cut the tubing and slide it together. And then hopefully this steering shaft is tapered all the way along, so our intermediate shaft can pop right back on again, and that'll bring the steering wheel closer to the dash so we can actually drive this thing. So yeah, here we go. So I got that weld cut, and then this is what's left over of the tube. I snipped just the end of that little cap off. This is the shaft that runs through it, that runs your shifter linkage. We don't need that anymore. Oh, and we lucked out that the shaft is also the same contour all the way down. So all I have to do is take it and drill a hole farther down. Hopefully it's not hardened steel, and that shouldn't be an issue. But now I can take this tube, stick it over top, pop it in there, re-weld it, and I've shortened the shaft that much. So you can see I'm already sticking out that far, and I can still stick it in another 1.5 inches or so and put a weld around there. The problem is that that tube for the shifter linkage keeps this centered and lubricated, and there's a little Teflon seal in here. So I'm gonna knock that out, and I'll just take a measurement of the shaft and the measurement of the tube and get a bearing for that. And it's actually gonna feel a lot nicer than it will just this cheap little Teflon thing. So the steering wheel will spin like nothing. So yeah, a couple hours to do, but yeah, here we go. Did you guys see it yet? And a little box for around the brake housing. I had this little rusty sheet of sheet metal for a while now. A perfect place to get rid of it is on the Studebaker, where the rust will fit in real nice with the patina. Here we go. So this is what I ended up with. This is going to be the bracket that sits in the Firewall and holds the brake assembly. I drilled all holes around the outside to hit it with the welder, and that'll hold her in place along with the top. I don't know if you guys can see the name. I just kind of grinded that in there, and that'll rest separate. I didn't have to write anything down because I did use a tape boss, so it is actually really handy. And I'm
start the triangle 4.5 inches in, the plate 9.5 high.
Perfect. No need to measure twice. Got her. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice. Studoka just comes out past the Firewall. Perfect. Trim this just a little bit, and it is beautiful. Very nice. Can you believe that a 1948 Style Master has the same amount of splines and size as a 2000 Dakota steering shaft? So that steering wheel will fit right on. Problem is, the owner wants a Studebaker steering wheel, so I might have to cut the center out of this steering wheel and press it into one of the three at the back there. Problem is, they're a Bakelite, and I need a puller to pull them off because I'm going to break it. But we can weld the steering shaft solid now, as it's as short as it can be, and everything's mounted up nice. Wonderful. So underneath the hood, we got the wires kind of tucked away. Battery is gonna go right here, but this cable obviously isn't long enough, so I had to MacGyver my own little thing to hook up to the fuse panel, and that goes off to the alternator. I've got the master all put in there nice, and the brake booster. I built that nice little block. Looks good. Steering wheel's nice and solid now. I still have to shorten this little rod coming out, so the U-joint is supposed to go about here, but we shortened the steering column so it would actually sit. The wiring looks messy, but it's actually pretty straightforward, and when I cranked it, it actually spit a little bit, so I think this one will actually run. So let's have the tripod and see if she fires. Here we go. You hear the fuel pump turn on, so that's good. Something clicked underneath of the breaker panel there. So that's awesome. I did, the training lines are laying in the back of the truck, so I did loop just from the in to the out on the transmission. But I don't know if there's anything laying on the exhaust yet, so I don't want to run it too long. But that's freaking awesome. We're coming along nicely. It's running now. It sounds great. What we're gonna do now is I gotta bleed the brakes. They're still a little spongy. They had the master disconnected, so I just have to bleed the brakes. It should drive. I just have the cable for the transmission looped inside because it won't start unless it's in park. But I'm gonna shorten this cable and then just mount it to the transmission tunnel. And then we have a couple different options that we're gonna do for a custom shifter. So he's dropping off a couple old parking brake handles or something, and we're gonna do a really neat shifter for it, even though it's still an automatic. The dash, we were gonna try and use an older car dash, but I think it's not gonna work. I'm gonna try and separate the gauges out of the 2000 Dakota, and then build a custom housing for the gauges that cover up the steering column really nice. And just, we might even leave it outside and let it get rusty, get a nice patina on it, drill some really nice holes in it, and I'll see if ECI can help me out with taking the circuit board apart, but still using the stepper motors. So we're really gonna look into that and make it 100% beautiful for them inside. So there's a lot of plugs and wires that I don't know exactly where they go yet. Rick, because we were working on the other truck, we weren't able to pull his truck up and compare exactly where these stuff goes and whatever else, but we'll get that figured out. I'm happy that it runs. We shortened the drive shaft, so we're gonna pop the drive shaft back in again. We're gonna lower the truck at the back about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, and we're also gonna lower the front. And then it should be drivable once we put the drive shaft in. The glass is being cut right now by my glass guy, and it won't take a whole lot more to actually burn some tires off in the shop. So we'll see how that goes in the next week or two. So the wiring harness, it does look more intimidating than it actually is. He was pretty good in labeling some of the stuff before he took it apart. So we got our heater and our fan controls and our radio connections here. Airbag on off, which is not gonna happen anymore because we won't have airbags. And then here are the resistors in that for the blower fan and the blower fan controls, and then just some grounds. And I don't know what that is, but we'll take this covering off and we'll tuck the wiring in really nice underneath so we don't see it. I don't know if he's gonna go with carpet or not, or steel, or I'm not sure, but it's one of these things where I do a bunch of work and then I gotta talk to him again for a half hour just to see where we're going, what we're gonna change, what we're not gonna do, and where we're gonna go from here. So once the wiring's cleaned up, we can start taking it for a little drive, and got to mount the seats and the console yet and get the shifter figured out, so that'll be the next video. So yeah, here we go. So follow a variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Tape Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.